Hello, hello. This is Sheri from the Sheri Kaye Hoff Show, where we focus on living joyfully and successfully in your life and business. You can find us at sherikayehoff.com. That's SherikayeHoff.com.
Because if you never have an uncomfortable feeling, it means, you're not challenging yourself at all, and your life has just gotten small or remained stagnant. So why don't people go outside the comfort zone? Because we all know there's things like, if I made that phone call or I sent that email or, if I put together that presentation or if I did that Zoom or, if I took that class, there are those things, or if I had that conversation with this person, those things that we just don't do. If I face my finances, if I, if, you can fill in the thing. And so pain avoidance is the main reason why people don't do what they really want to do. And pain, I'm not talking about physical pain, though I could. And I'm not talking about extreme emotional pain either. I mean, like the simple pain that you set your alarm to get up and go work out, and you wake up and you're like, oh, I'm so tired. And you would rather have the comfort of sleeping a little longer than getting up and doing what you decided the night before that you were going to do. And we all have that. It's the meal plan that we decide that we're going to stick to, and yet we really want that 16th Oreo cookie kind of thing. So whatever the pain is, it can be pretty mild, and a lot of times we don't even recognize, oh, I'm just avoiding the pain of this. So even, if you look at anything that you're putting off, if you're, sitting on the couch on doing a Netflix marathon by accident, you didn't plan it, you're just avoiding the things that you know that you want to do, there's some kind of element of pain there that's creating that cycle. So I want you to kind of expand what you think of as pain. So this is actually pretty common with entrepreneurs. Anybody trying to do something new is, they'll try to avoid rejection. Like they won't have the conversations with people who might say no to that. That's an example of avoiding pain. Also, if you have something new that you want to launch, but you don't do it because the pain for you is, what if I put my heart and soul into this and it doesn't work? And it's too painful to face that. So I know you can all recognize the areas of your life, where you're doing this. And we do it sometimes all day long. And even if you're highly efficient, highly effective, there's probably something that you're just not addressing. And wouldn't you love to be able to address it and move through it? So here's the little mind trick, the little interesting way to look at it. And I've talked about this before when I talk about look at fear as an adventure. But you can look at the pain that you're trying to avoid as an adventure. And just like, I welcome it in. Now you're not welcoming in a ton of pain into your life. You're welcoming in the painful thing that's already there. You're just welcoming it in. It's kind of like, if you do a workout, your muscles are going to feel it a little bit. And I'm not talking about working out too hard and so that you can't work out again for another week or two. I'm talking about just the challenging your muscles. So if you look at challenging your muscles in areas of your life, and that the freedom you're looking for comes from being willing to challenge that, and not just having that willingness, but changing your attitude towards it where you actually welcome it in. So when you realize, okay, I'm avoiding this thing, I'm procrastinating. Wow, that's really cool. I know what the thing is I need to do, and I'm going to dive in. I'm going to love it. I'm going to embrace it. I'm going to give it a big hug because I know that this is the thing that is the key to freedom. So when you face the thing, you step outside your comfort zone and you really step into true freedom in your life, because all that pain avoidance is doing is keeping you small, keeping you what you really want to do. So make a list of everything that you want to do, because I want you to see the payoff. This is what I really want. Whether it's, I want to run a 5K, or I want to have really deep, meaningful relationships with my kids. Anything that's important to you, start writing those things down. And we're going to do a journaling exercise a little bit here too, but start going through that process of, wow, I'm avoiding these little pieces that are really the key. And all of society really encourages, instant gratification, everything happening fast, nothing being difficult. And again, I don't talk about pain very often because I am a fan of ease and flow, and I'm a fan of finding that inspired action spot. But all of that does come from just being willing to do the thing that you haven't been willing to do before. So you want to get in the habit of embracing that discomfort of, oh, here it is, that something cool is really coming around the corner. It's changing your whole mindset around it. And the more you practice it, the better you get. So it's just a natural response. Find yourself stepping into avoidance, you just automatically go, okay, I'm embracing this right now. And then the next piece of this that I want to talk about is connecting flow. So your flow state is when it's like almost that step beyond, well, maybe it's a giant leap beyond, but you've made it through the pain, okay? And you're connecting to that place where all of a sudden it becomes, it's the writer who, writes a song in a day, or writes a song in a month, and they hadn't been able to write a song, for years and years. And so flow can be different for different people. So someone might be able to write a song in 15 minutes. And then I watched the Leonard Cohen biography, and it took him 7 years to write Hallelujah. And I would say he was still in the flow when he was writing it. That was his process. He was like very deliberate. He kept notes of drafts and verses and things crossed out, and that was his flow. So whether your flow is to take 7 years to do something, or to do something in 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, if you watch it's one of the best biographies I've ever seen. It's on Netflix, and it's so quiet and unassuming, but it's really, really a beautiful story about persistence and creativity and contributing really to the world. But he talks about how he was in a car with Bob Dylan, and Bob Dylan said, Leonard Cohen asked him how long it took him to write a certain song. He's like, oh, I wrote that song in 15 minutes. And he was like, It took me 7 years to write Hallelujah. And both are fantastic. Okay. So find out what your flow is. Don't judge it, but that flow really comes to you, when I think about what if Leonard Cohen had just stopped writing and we never had the song Hallelujah. And I think of all the singers that have done the cover of that song and how meaningful it is to so many people of all faiths, and even people who don't have much faith. There is just something so valuable in letting your creativity come forward. Okay, another interesting thing about the song Hallelujah is that when Leonard Cohen first did it, his record label wouldn't release it in the United States, didn't like it. And it was actually another artist who sang that song on his album that really started bringing the song forward. And so that song became famous much later than when it first came out. And Leonard Cohen couldn't believe that he was turned down to have that song released in the United States. Like he thought, am I that wrong? Am I that wrong about music? And he stuck with it and kept doing his thing, and that song just became such a legacy in the entire world. I just think it's a beautiful story and so uplifting a message to keep going. Releasing sadness and moving to acceptance and what is. Okay, that's what we want to do for tapping. All right, so when I say quickly outside of your comfort zone, step one is learning to embrace the pain that you're avoiding. And again, the pain could be something that's painful to you, but not to anyone else. I'm not talking about being tortured in a prison camp or something, although for some people that is a reality. But I'm really talking about anything that is painful to you. And so if you're in that place of procrastination, asking, what is the pain? What is the pain here? Will help you identify it, help you embrace it, and it will set you free. It will truly set you free. So let's do an exercise here. Okay, so this exercise is partially, I've done this kind of exercise for a really long time, but Barry Michael, Bill Stutz talk about this in their book, The Tools. So it's a visualization exercise of moving through pain. So just take one thing that you've been avoiding, whether it's a cluttered up garage, if it's that workout plan that you haven't started, if it's the book you haven't started or you started and haven't gone back to, if it's the course you're trying to write or the business you're trying to start, but you're just avoiding anything, big or small. Okay, pick one thing. Feet on the ground, nice deep breath. So you've identified what the pain is. And see yourself as a little mini version of yourself. And that pain has an embodiment. Like the pain looks like something. Like what does it look like to you? Is it dark and murky and cloudy? What color is it? but consistent. You're going to let that get as big as it gets. Then your little mini version of yourself is going to dive right into it. Totally safe, but you're just plunging in. You're doing it. Whatever you feel right now is okay. Like if you feel your throat kind of tight, let yourself fully feel that. And then see your mini me kind of swimming through the pain and then bursting out on the other side of it. Totally free, totally clean, totally energized. All right, so this idea of welcoming the pain, facing it, doing it, in real life. Okay, so I had friends over last night. I was up kind of late, and I had my alarm set for 5:30 to go work out, and my alarm went off. Actually, I woke up before my alarm went off. But when I woke up, I thought, oh, I'm really tired, and it snowed last night, and I'm still sore from my workout 2 days ago, and maybe I should just sit to tomorrow. And I had that feeling, and then my eyes popped open, and I was like, this is the pain. It's so much easier to just stay in bed. The pain is just getting out of bed. And so I got out of bed, and the idea that made me instantly feel better was doing this is setting me free. Just the act of getting out of bed when I don't want to is setting me free. And I was like wide awake and happy when I went to the gym. And this is also, if you've ever read anything by Mel Robbins or watched her videos, and she talks about the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, like if there's something you're not doing, that you just say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you jump up and you do it. Again, if it's that call you're not making, if it's that project you're not working on, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you do it. It's like a rocket launching. That's kind of a similar concept. What it is it's creating a way for you to deal with the pain of moving when you don't want to move, whether it's mentally, physically, spiritually. Okay. Questions, comments, star 2 on your phone keypad. And this pain avoidance thing is the reason why people don't have the success that they're looking for. They're just not willing to face even the simplest. So if just you having the willingness, look at discomfort and move through it, puts you probably in the top 1% of the world. Okay. Yay! All right, so a journal prompt to work on maybe later, maybe this week, and maybe every day for a while of just, what am I avoiding? What am I avoiding? And identify those. Those are all opportunities for you. So you might say, well, that sounds kind of negative. What am I avoiding? But that is like, well, this is what I'm avoiding, and these are all the opportunities for wonderful in my life. A little different thought process there, right? And then another trick, their little, I shouldn't call it a trick, maybe a tip, a tool, is when you go to sleep at night. When I go to sleep, I just sent this out in an email, but when I go to sleep, I like to line up my energy with what I'm working on making happen. So it could be like a really big goal in my life. It could be a small goal. So I'm doing that as I'm falling asleep. And I also set the tone next day. Like, instead of going, oh, I got to get up early. So even though when I got up this morning, I was kind of like, oh, I really wanted to stay in bed. The night before, I still set the tone by saying, I'm going to wake up in the morning. I'm going to jump out of bed. I'm going to go work out. And I'm going to start my day with a lot of energy instead of saying, oh, I'm going to bed late. I'm going to wake up so tired. So it's like really, as you're falling asleep, setting your intention for when you wake up is going to help you too. So get in the habit of doing it. All right. So I am going to tap on this idea of releasing sadness and embracing acceptance. Okay. And so sadness is a normal human emotion, and I'm thankful that I can feel sad. Like yesterday was the anniversary of my son's best friend's death. He died a year ago. Yesterday it was a year ago. And, my son's in college, so going through that anniversary, we FaceTimed last night and, talked a couple times throughout the day, and he's doing okay. But it's sad. There's no way around it. It's made sad. And so when we talk about sadness, it's like a willingness to feel sad. It's okay to feel sad. We don't want to push it down, make it go away. Sadness is something to experience and treasure. And, sometimes sadness, well, maybe all the time, but for me, like sadness over people is because I love them so much. And then you might have sadness, like maybe there's a big change and you're just kind of feeling bad about the change. Kids going to college, becoming an empty nester, those kinds of things. And still, that sadness is a beautiful. So when we think about sadness, having the idea that I love that I have the ability to feel sad. I'm going to fully feel it and accept the sadness, accept the situation, and embrace my humanity. I'm human. I feel all the emotions. So let's tap, even though I feel sad sometimes, I love and accept myself. Even though I feel sad, I love and accept myself. Even though I feel sad, I love and accept myself. Sadness is real. It's here right now. Sometimes I feel like I should be able to move through it faster. Or I wish I wasn't feeling this painful emotion. I'm getting impatient, but I feel the sadness. I should be able to move on. There's that judgment there. All these feelings are completely normal. I love, honor, and accept myself. It's okay and even wonderful to feel sad. I'm sad because I love people. Because I love so deeply, part of the reason I get sad about things. Sadness isn't permanent. It's part of my experience. I embrace my entire human. On a cellular and DNA level, I'm activating acceptance of all my human emotions. On a cellular and DNA level, I allow myself to process through sadness. On a cellular and DNA level, I'm activating the present moment. On a cellular and DNA level, I'm activating a grateful heart. On a cellular and DNA level, I'm activating the courage to face everything in my life. On a cellular and DNA level, I'm activating freedom. On a cellular and DNA level, I'm activating abundance and prosperity. On a cellular and DNA level, I'm activating inspired action. I am comfortable with all of. I embrace my humanity. I love myself. I accept myself, others. I easily release judgment. I am abundant. I am prosperous. I take action. I fully face my life with zest and joy. Everything is always working out. Everything I touch prospers. All so it is. Okay, so as we tapped, what else came up? What else? I just got like a pretty strong hit of tapping on avoidance since we've been talking about that. So let's do that. So then when we leave here today, you have a willing heart to do the things you've been avoiding. Okay? Even though I'm avoiding, I love and accept myself. Even though I'm avoiding, I love and accept myself. Even though I'm avoiding, I love and accept myself. I know I avoid things that are painful. It's easy to procrastinate. It's easy to engage in distracting activities. It's easy to stay in my comfort zone. All these feelings are completely normal. I love, honor, and accept myself. I do face things. Maybe not all the time, but I do. When I do face them, I'm really good at it. I am willing to stop avoiding things. On a cellular and DNA level, I'm releasing my pattern of avoidance. On a cellular and DNA level, I'm embracing taking the action. On a cellular and DNA level, I'm activating the life I really. On a cellular level, I'm activating my purpose now. On a cellular DNA level, I'm activating heart, soul-based growth. I show up for myself. I face everything. I move challenge. I'm adventurous. I try new things. I do the things that are important. Do the things today. Everything is always working out for me. Everything is prosperous. All is well. Okay, so I want to close with one, maybe more than one, but at least one parting thought here. And that is that sometimes we have this idea that, oh, when I'm a millionaire, then everything is, or, I can quit working on stuff once I fill in the blank. But if you start to embrace that the cycle of life is that there's always going to be things that we avoid, and there's always going to be opportunities to go through that cycle of embracing what you're avoiding and think through it. So, for example, the person who loses weight thinks, okay, when I lose the weight, that's going to be it. Then, my life is perfect or, much better. But the truth is that you still have to keep doing all the things that led you to that path. You still have to move your body, eat foods that are good for you, take good care of your health. That doesn't go away. And like when I think about exercise, there's never a time in your life where you don't need to exercise. That's something like you either are moving your body or your muscles are atrophying. So instead of having the someday when I make it, I can just put my feet up and do nothing. Well, okay, so I'm a fan of deep relaxation. Okay, really, really. I love relaxing. I think it's important. But you still be willing to work the stuff. It's kind of like, you start the practice of journaling and it creates a profound change in your life. And then you're in such a better place when you stop journaling. And then 2 months down the road, you're a train wreck again because you stopped doing the thing that worked for you and was supporting you. That's really the challenge of life, is to realize that we always need to get techniques, processes that work for us. And you don't do your dishes once in your house and you never do dishes again. You don't clean your house once and you never clean again. Okay, it's kind of a maintenance thing. So when you embrace that idea, you stop looking for that easy train of somehow, someday I'm going to get to the point where I'm not ever doing any work on myself. We're always working on ourselves. It doesn't mean that we're not whole and wonderful exactly, and that I believe everyone is. But we have our things, our awarenesses, our things that we grow to. That's what I wanted to leave with here today. So challenge yourself to step outside your comfort zone, no matter how small that little step is. It's a big move towards the freedom that you're looking for, being able to do whatever you do. All right. I love you. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day, and I will talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.